This is... Yeah. I'm hiding. You are 100 HP. No bubbles. Oh my goodness, you're damaging yourself. Yeah, this is... Oh my goodness. You are playing like you are invincible. Hey everyone, welcome back to another VOD review. Today we're going to be looking at Blue Squid, who is a gold plat player who is playing Zarya on this map. And he says that I'm a fellow Overwatch enjoyer who is currently hard stock gold and plat. Would like to learn tips on how I can improve, whether it's positioning, mechanics, game sense, so I can be more impactful and hopefully win more games. And then just as a side note, says that usually does not solo queue and is usually playing 5-stack with friends. Well, so first of all, 5-stacking is probably not the best way to get better if your skill ratings are very separate, because you're either going to get stuck in really hard games or you're going to have really easy games depending on who you're playing with. If you're playing together and you're similar rating, then that's a whole lot better, and I would recommend that a lot more. But if you're playing with like Diamond Master players, I would recommend, if you're trying to actually get better at the game, you probably want to solo queue at least half your games. But I mean, if you're just trying to play for fun, not take it that seriously, then won't harp on it too much. But so let's take a look here.
I'm in charge. Ready for battle.
Okay, so we're gonna be on attack first. Now, for Zarya, well, I guess before I get into the whole bit of how you should be playing this, let me look at just a little bit of how you're actually playing. Okay. So, this is really small, but the little jumps here you're doing, little rocket jumps, so usually those are done on like control maps where you're trying to get somewhere very quickly. If you're ever going to be in an engagement, you don't want to do this because you're basically just starting out this engagement down 50 HP right here. So you just gave them 50 HP for free. So you're not actually getting anywhere very quickly by doing this. It's 2 rocket jumps. You're not trying to race them to a certain spot. So you could have just saved that. That's not a big deal. Okay, yep. Okay, that's good. Didn't worry about the turret. That's not your job. It's alright to throw a couple right clicks over there, but it's really, realistically, not your job. Okay, the bubble usage could be better. So, when you're first starting out on Zarya, when you're coming out of the gates, you have 0 charge. The absolute first thing you need to do is get charge insta. The way that Zarya tanks is through having the threat of dealing too much damage. So you want to be high charge 24/7 so that everybody has to focus you. So like walking out of the gates here, you've got tons of people looking at you. I'd wait to see where the Torb's spamming, the Lucio's spamming, and pop a bubble, jump into it. It's right out of the gate. You're not in any threat. You can wait a little bit for your bubble to come back off cooldown. So like this, except I probably would be more intentional about walking into damage when you pop your bubble here. And then your bubble on the Sojourn, it gets you a little bit of charge, but this would be better used for yourself if you could play aggressively with your bubble. So, sorry, I got my cat here distracting me. I'm sure he's gonna want to say hi at some point. But here, right, you're 30 charge. You could be 60, maybe, if you'd use your bubbles a little bit more effectively. And you have your bubble off cooldown, so I'd be looking to try to use it. You're low HP though, so getting healed back up, this is the right play. That's good. Okay, that was a good bubble. And the reason that was a good bubble, because here, everybody's focusing you. So you know you're going to take a lot of damage right now. We need to focus on getting charge and building as much charge as possible. This is good. Okay. I like all this so far. So that bubble, I wasn't the biggest fan of. And the reason for that is the threat of you popping bubble, sorry, in a lot of cases is actually just as strong as you actually popping the bubble. So right here, you pop bubble and you're retreating. You want to do the exact opposite. So you actually, as soon as a bubble comes off cooldown and you have HP to spare, you want to walk forward without using bubble, get the most value that you can out of being aggressive with it. And then once you feel like, okay, maybe I'm getting a little too aggressive, pop your bubble and back up. And what that's going to do is when you're being aggressive, you're going to draw fire and you're going to be dealing damage, which is 2 for 1. You're doing your tanking job and you're dealing damage. As soon as you pop the bubble, you start backing up. You're probably drawing fire if you're being aggressive and dealing damage. So you're going to keep your charge up. You've dealt damage. You've made space. Overall, that's the better way to use your bubbles. So the absolute last thing you want to do is pop a bubble in a really passive spot and then walk into a dangerous place and then not have any bubbles, which is kind of what you're doing here. You didn't push very forward because you understand, you know, if you push forward, you die. But I would rather have a bubble here and walk into them and then pop a bubble and back up. Okay, but this is all good. Nice. All right, so now you want to get space. You do not want to be cart botting. Okay. So you need to be getting space here. And the reason you want to be doing that is for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're the tank. So you're the hardest person to push out of certain spots. So it's very good for you to move up to these corners and start contesting space. Second, you're on Zarya. So the more downtime you have, the more time you sit on cart or do anything of the sort where you're not actually fighting the enemy, you're losing charge and you're losing value. So if we go back to your charge, let's see. Okay, so end of the fight, you're 60 charge. Let's see when you start fighting anything again. All right, so you got down to like 25 charge, which is not good. So you definitely want to be taking some sort of damage on your bubbles way before that. The way that Zarya's charge decay works is that after you've taken damage from a bubble, you have a 2-second window where your charge is not depleting. So you want to be, it's more about being consistent with taking damage with your bubbles during this downtime. But you finally do move out to the right corner. This is good. Let me relook at that bubble and Sojourn. Okay, yeah, I definitely would not have bubbled that. That bubble was very early. So if the Sojourn had gone way out into the open like here, then yeah, pop a bubble. And she'll probably get shot a lot. If she's if she's just coming around the corner, the odds are she's probably not getting shot much. Let's look at this from one of the DPS perspective. Sure, Torb. Torb looks great. Sojourn comes flying around, she gets bubbled, and then you just don't shoot her anymore. If this Sojourn was being very aggressive and in their face, and they're like, oh shoot, I need to pressure this guy so I don't die, that's when you want to pop your bubble on your allies. Or if they're being dove. But if they're being very aggressive, or if they're having a lot of pressure put on them, is the time you want to bubble your allies. Otherwise, you want to just use it for you, so you can be aggressive. Okay. Yep, this is fine. So now you need to chill. Wait for your bubbles to come off cooldown. Okay, you definitely turned around way too early. This fight was definitely still winnable. You guys have Sojourn ult. You've got 2 support ults coming up. Your ult's coming up. Just because they get 1 pick isn't the end of the world. They get 1 pick, they pop beat here. You guys can totally just back up, disengage from the beat, and then re-engage once this beat has worn off. And you're 100 charge, so you deal a lot of damage, and you have a bubble. I'm okay with popping the bubble to get out here, but you definitely still want to be contesting this fight. Okay, this is good. Whoa. Okay. All right. We gotta talk about this. Okay. So there's nothing you could have done about that. This, whatever. You definitely should not have walked forward into the Reinhardt. As soon as you hear beat coming up, you're like, okay, I need to pull back from this and reassess and figure out what's going on in this fight, because there's no way you're killing anybody while they have beat on them. So any damage you do is effectively just nothing while they have beat. So you're getting saved. I definitely would not have pushed into this Rhine here because you have no bubbles and you're 300 HP. So right now you're trying to back up, get healed, stabilize, and then reassess, potentially push back in with ults, just see what's happening in the fight. But you definitely very well could have died here. Your bubble comes off cooldown just in time right here. And then I think you ult because you're afraid of dying. I'm not sure. I'd love to hear that from you. But that ultimate is team fight winning. That could have been your ticket into the next point. Say you just catch like a Torb and a Lucio in it. Then, you know, it's 2 picks. There you go. But effectively, all that grab did is buy you time. Which, you know, the biggest benefit of that grab is that you kept your charge, but you could have gotten your charge back. It's definitely not worth the ultimate. Did you just pop bubble again? You did. Okay. So this bubble's kind of a waste. And the reason for that is you're already 85 charge. So the maximum amount of charge you're going to get out of this bubble is 15. Additionally, you're not able to be aggressive right now. So you popping the bubble doesn't actually net you anything. All it's doing is letting you heal up a little bit, which if you look at the stance of this Reinhardt, he's actually backing up right now. Like their team is pulling back. So like it's not matching up here. Okay, good kill. I like that bubble, because that saves you. Alright, you need to be popping your bubble. Nice. Good, good. This is all good. Nice, good right click. Okay, so. I liked that last 10-15 seconds of that fight. That was really good. Your mechanics seem pretty solid, so I definitely think it's something other than mechanics is what's holding you back in gold. And from what I can tell so far, it seems like a lot of play doesn't really revolve around your bubbles. It's kind of just like, you kind of just see people and shoot, and then just use your bubbles when they're up. Okay, so you definitely should have been expecting that. He hadn't shattered the whole game, and it's a minute 30 left. And so if you're prepared for that, you can block the shatter pretty easily. You just have to be thinking about it coming.
That was a foolish maneuver.
Oh goodness, Overwatch, please. Okay, well, this is fine. Again, so not a good bubble on the Sojourn. I think Maybe you just have a habit of if you see a DPS in front of you, you just think you should bubble them because they effectively become the tank now. You only want to bubble them, especially if you're high charge. You only want to bubble them if it saves their life. If you're high charge, your bubbles should only be used for the HP value, and you only have a 2-second window for that. Because otherwise, it's just better to save the bubble, wait for your charge to deplete, and then pop it again, and then you get more charge out of it. Like right about now, it'd be nice to have a bubble. Because then your 100 charge, you could be so aggressive right now if you had one bubble. Okay. I like this. This is really good. Yeah, walk at them. Okay, this is good. That's fine. Okay, there definitely seems to be a lot of, like, aimless just shooting. Like, you're not really holding a position and you're not really attacking them. These past few seconds, I kind of want... Let me get, like, third person to kind of explain what's happening. So after your grav,
60 seconds.
like, you're kind of just out in the open here. And you're not pressuring them because the Rhine's full shield. They're all hiding behind the Rhine. They're hiding behind the payload. But you're not ready to, like, engage, but you're in this, like, really awkward spot of, like, being out in the open, but everybody's taking damage and, like, everybody needs to stabilize. So you're stuck in a spot where you can't be aggressive, but you're not backing off to like, stabilize and help your team with positioning there. So here, it's better to be aggressive and start walking at them or stabilize. At the moment, you can kind of just walk at them. As soon as your Moira goes down, now you need to walk at them even more. But I would have liked either for you to hold a corner like this and just play spam whatever, or to be really aggressive and walk at them. But to stand here out in the open and not really do either is like you're not accomplishing anything by doing this. So the reasoning for that is that you are stuck out in the open, you have no cover. They have the payload as cover. So this positioning is advantageous for them to take the fight in. If you're here, it's so easy for them to just dump all of their abilities in this area. They don't even have to aim. They just, like, shoot stuff in an area and then you die. This is basically a choke. It's a little hallway. It's very easy to hit everything. So if you're standing in this, yeah, you're Zarya, so you want to take spam, like, to charge, but you're full charge already. So this either needs to be an attack or back up. You could have even went around this way, brought your team around this way, had a fight here, something like that. It's just standing here and not really advancing or retreating is not what you want to be doing. Okay, and you're playing very aggressively without support. Okay, maybe I just kind of lost track of what was happening in this fight. Let me relook at this. Yeah, so this is a 5v3 right now. So you should be very far back. You should start backing up here for sure. If I see a 5v3 and I see a high charge Zarya like this, I'm yelling at my teammates, rush the Zarya, go kill her. Zarya is not that tanky. I'm sure you know if you play her a lot. It's okay. This worked out, but they definitely should have just run at you, and you should have died. Okay. Just left click, left click, left click. Oh, don't worry about that. Okay. You're way too worried about bubbling your allies. Your Moira is full HP when you bubble her. Okay, you bubble her now. She's most of her HP. I believe she still has Fade. Yeah. Yeah, your Moira's fine. She's totally chilling. I'd much rather you still save that bubble for a better scenario. Whether you're losing charge or you're actually going to save her life or something like that. Now she doesn't have Fade, so now I would like to have bubble in case something happens to her. Okay. That's good. So your ratio of left click to right click is something I actually do really like, and I think you should definitely keep doing this. You're doing the balance right. The left click is definitely more for your sustained damage, right click when you have to. You're doing a very good job with that. I like this positioning. So remember back here, when the cart was back here, you were sitting on payload and losing charge. You got down to like 25 charge here. This is the exact positioning you want, and you can pop a bubble early. Perfect. Full charge, and you'll have 2 bubbles for this fight. This is the ideal scenario for Zarya. Okay. So the only reason I do not like this grab is because your teammates cannot really follow up on this damage. So right now you're getting pushed backwards and you're grabbing into them. So the only way for your team to be able to do damage to that grab is to push through the rest of the enemy team and try to shoot them. Also, it looks like you're trying to grab a Reinhardt that has full shield. So if the Rein can just sit there with his shield up through the entire grab and you're going to do absolutely nothing, you're going to get no kills. So I don't like that. Let me just also, I mean, I can tell even without looking at your teammates, but here when you grab, nobody can see this. And it's just because that's the natural flow of where they're positioning. They're getting pushed, so they're naturally going to want cover. They're going to back up around this corner. So nobody's going to be ready to damage in this grab, except for you. So you only want to be grabbing whenever it's something that either you can solo entirely, and you cannot solo a Reinhardt in a grab, or something where your entire team can contribute to this, and you just need to be aware of that. That's good, though. Okay, let me not have this on fast forward mode. Okay, so you're kind of playing with fire here. It worked, but that was risky. So let me look at this again. Yep, that was a really good block, by the way. Very good block. Pushing aggressive like this when you have very low HP is very risky. So I'm not saying that what you're doing is bad. I'm just saying you need to be aware that you could die here. And you need to play like it. So pushing really far out here to get the Mercy, you didn't have to push quite this far out into as much spam as you did. So like, I would probably be here, kind of hugging this corner and trying to get as much cover as possible while still damaging the Mercy. But you're kind of egoing this. You're a little far out just for the amount of HP you have. It's super nitpicky, but it will save your life a couple times. You just have to be a little bit more aware of your HP, and then let that play a factor into how you're positioning, whether you can ego a corner a little bit more, be more passive. Do I need to make sure that my angles are just exactly right? Am I taking more cover? Stuff like that. And that's a lot of that's determined by your HP. Oh, this is nice. She goes Orisa into you. I definitely think you went a little too aggressive here. So, like, this is the kind of aggressive I would go if I was trying to really farm my grav. If I was like 95, 90%, and I'm like, oh, I need this grav for this fight, let me push up here and try to farm this. But you kind of stay here way too long. You pay a good price for it. It's half your HP. You very much could have gotten the same effect being here, or even here, literally anything, and just soaking up some spam for your bubble. You definitely didn't have to be that far forward. And now this kind of puts you in an awkward spot where you're separated from your team. And your team's going to want to come over to help you, but in order to do that, they actually have to walk out into the open. And that's really dangerous for them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, your mechanics are, as far as aim goes, is really solid. Okay. I like that jump. That's good. Okay, good right clicks. Okay, you need to bet. This is, yeah, you're gonna die. Okay, you're, yeah.
Enemy turret ahead.
So, your team is on the payload. Everybody's back here. Nobody's pushing up with you. So when you push up with, like this, you are alone. And you have to play like you can die instantly. You are a tank, but if a couple people come around that corner, they can burst you. It does happen. So your team is coming out of spawn. You got one person on cart. You gotta chill a little bit. I love the aggression, but you gotta chill a little bit. And then here you need to keep pressing S, keep pressing S, keep pressing S. This is bad. Because your team is not ready to support you at this angle, and they're advancing very quickly, and you're half HP. So I would be... Okay, they didn't push you. So I guess I can't be proven right here, but I mean, you have 5 people on your screen. And you're kind of out in not so great a position. The closest corner you got is this. And if they come running around this corner and I'll shoot you, you should be dead. Okay, don't worry about the Mercy. Okay, that's good target priority. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be trading with the Zarya as much when she's slow charge and whatnot. You can kill everybody else. That's good. Yeah, I mean, this was pretty much all good. I think everybody else just died. That's all that happened here. I mean, yeah, you probably pushed a little bit too aggressive, but that's kind of hindsight 2020 type thing. I think generally speaking, the way that you played that in general, after the bit where I harped about you probably should have died. So everything from like here on was good. I have no gripes, no complaints. Very solid. Just maybe could have played around this corner a little bit more. But that's pretty much it.
Thought they could keep me down.
Alright, so now you have Grav. And so they've had beat. They had beat every time you've had Grav so far? I can't remember. But that's definitely, you want to be thinking about the beat at the moment, because that's kind of the only thing they have that can really ruin your day in the Grav. They don't have the Rhine anymore, so you don't have to worry about that as much. So right now, you're pretty much just trying to get your bubble rotations in, and then look for a Grav, either on 1 or 2 people, probably, and just burst them down. Ideally, you want to be pressuring the Lucio here as much as possible to either try to force the beat early, or if you can get a pick on him, then the Grav's free. Okay, that is what you did not want to do. So, trading the Grav for Lucio beat is effectively, you're just like trading the ultimates. And beat is kind of a really weird ultimate where it's kind of hard to use aggressively. Because the enemy team can just turn and run away from you and it doesn't last very long. So it's very ideal to use that beat in situations like this, where you just need a brief moment of respite, and then everybody can go back to doing damage. So this definitely needed to be, Lucio needed to be dead. He needed to either have beat forced, or this Grav needed to be off on a flank where he couldn't beat. And the reason I say that is, again, because beat is something that's very hard to use aggressively. If he's not beating your Grav, he's going to beat Coalescence, maybe, or something. I don't know. If I'm Lucio, I would love to beat the Grav and pretty much nothing else. So if you can get the Grav off without the beat's kind of like awkward. You kind of just want to use it for Grav. Okay, so what happened here after the Grav? They beat it. Just real quick note on positioning. You are very much out in the open, so could have done something like this. Done something like this if you're expecting them to walk on you. But just more on cover would be good. The Coalescence was really nice, though. That saved you. Nice, yep. Yeah, you have no problem killing things when you can kill things. We just need to get you there to the place where you're actually able to kill things more. Okay, good bubble. Okay, again, you're very out in the opening, or in the open. Your positioning here. It's not super great. So I like the aggression. When you're full HP and you have bubbles, this is fine. You're 74 charge, so you would like to take some damage and then pop a bubble. I probably would still be playing a little bit closer to this pillar so that you have some more cover. But here, you pop bubble on your Torb, which is the right thing to do, by the way, because everybody's going to shoot this. They have to kill the Torb. So you're going to get free charge off of this. But you are very isolated here. This is not where you want to be. Because you're going to get shot by both these guys, the turret. Heck, Mercy could pull her pistol out and start whacking on you. Okay, and you don't get punished for it. If these players were better, you definitely would have died there. Okay, you have bubble now, so now I'd be playing aggressive. This is good. So you only want to right click whenever you think that's going to be the enough burst damage to kill them. And when you do, if you're this close, you just want to right click and then melee instantly and it'll animation cancel. Okay, you were just a little late on it, but you can right click instant melee, way more burst damage. Okay. Wow. You see that aim again? That was nasty. Look at that. I'm impressed. No, that's good. For a gold 2 player? Yeah. That's nasty. So my gripe here is playing on the payload. I understand for killing the Torb. This makes sense. But to continue to play on the payload, I don't understand. So you just got shot from I believe it was a Bastion over here? Yeah. So the last thing you want to do is expose yourself to him again. So I would be hiding here. This part of the payload. And then just trying to damage what I can, but mostly just playing to live. Yeah, grab's fine. This is, yeah. I'm hiding. You are 100 HP. No bubbles. Oh my goodness, you're damaging yourself. Yeah, this is... Oh my goodness. You are playing like you are invincible. And you kind of are. But you've been on 150 HP for the past, like, 8 seconds. 10 seconds. 12 seconds. Right here, you're egoing these guys with 230 HP. You are very close to dead. You just popped your bubble. You damage yourself. You damage yourself again. One shot from this Lucio and a boot melee and you are dead. So this is just like way too aggressive for the amount of HP you have. I don't know how you live that long, to be completely honest with you. So when you have HP like that, it's much more important that you're just able to play around cover and choose your engagements. So when you're fighting this Lucio, for example, it's better to use this payload as like determining who gets to shoot who when. That's basically what cover is. So whenever you're ready to right click him, you can just pop up, right click, pop over, right click, pop over, right click, and you can instantly get back into cover. And you're doing that because you only want to see him when you can damage him, and you're very close to dying. So anytime they can see you, they can kill you. So yeah, just you definitely want to play to live and do damage. Any good Lucio here is just going to kill you. You're 60 HP. Okay.
Going for a new personal best.
So let's see the defense.
No mistakes, no mercy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay.
Stop.
So I like the aggressive play at the beginning. This is good because you want to get a bubble off, get some charge.
That was close.
This is fine. This is not so fine. So again, you want to play around a corner. So when they're coming out of spawn, you can get away with this for a little bit. I wouldn't recommend staying here. Maybe just like a few seconds. Get some charge, and then you can reroute this way. If you're scared, obviously this is a lot shorter and better. But if you're scared, you know, worst case scenario, you can reroute that way. But staying out in the open here is not what you want. So you want to be playing this corner. And then if they push you back, this corner. But you definitely need to be around some type of cover. This isn't really good to continuously hold because you're opening up to this flank. And this flank is very easy to access. This flank takes a little bit longer. It's not as common. And it's exposed to this. So your backline is going to see this and is going to be able to pressure this. Whereas a flank from here, not as easy. Okay, again, that's a bubble and you're backing up. You want to play aggressive and then bubble. So it's like you're... I guess the bad thing here that I'm seeing is as you're backing up, you're bubbling. You're like, oh shoot, I need to get back, bubble passively. I want to be like active with my bubble. So I want to be in their face. And then once I need to start backing off a little bit, or I notice that I'm getting focused, then I'll pop a bubble. I'm surprised you live there. Okay, this corner's good. Okay, this is fine. Yep, this is good. This is good. You're winning this. You can hold this. Nice. Okay, you are spreading your damage out a little bit too much. This is the first I've seen of it, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But you want to pick a target and stay on it. Here you've shot, well, let's say right click. Okay, shot the Mercy. You reacquire targets. This is fine. But then you go from the Lucio to this Soldier, which the Lucio's half HP, so it'll just be a better target. You kind of seem like you're panicking a little bit, almost. Okay, I actually really like this a lot. So the reason I really like that is because your team is in position to actually clean this up. Normally, big grabs are very questionable, but you know, you got a Torb sitting here. I'm actually surprised all of your teams back here. So I like it less than I thought, but being the tank player and not knowing exactly where your team is, I would imagine my team would be holding positions like this, like up where this Torb is. You know, maybe somebody over here. This is kind of what I'm thinking. So this grab is good. Based on the positioning that you had and the space you had available for your team. That was a good grab. Okay. So this kind of goes back to, you don't really want to have any downtime on Zarya. You want to push up here, start bubbling anything just to stop the depletion of your charge. You know, I mean, ideally you'll take some spam damage, get some charge back, but when they're all respawning, that was a phenomenal bubble. That was the first bubble on an ally that I've seen that was really, really good. Okay. So the difference here and in all of your other bubbles is that this Sojourn is out of position. Look at this. Your Sojourn is totally just tanking everything. Not close to cover. She's got two almost... I mean, I saw Lucio, so I'm thinking 3 people looking at her. Potentially killing her. This bubble saves her life. And you get a ton of charge off of it because everybody's trying to kill her. All their comms are saying, Sojourn's won, Sojourn's won. Even though she's half, but everybody says Sojourn's won. And they're just going to try to break the bubble and kill her. And so this was absolutely perfect. You got a lot of charge off of this, and you got a lot of value out of the HP of the bubble. That was perfect. The only thing, positioning-wise, I probably would have moved up here, and we kind of talked about that with trying to get spam damage in between resets, so that way you're not losing as much charge. But also, this positioning is going to be better for you against the D.Va because you want to be right up close to the D.Va. Your right clicks do nothing into this comp because D.Va just, well, defense matrix or dodges, you know. But if you can left click the D.Va, you'll burn her very quickly. So you want to be in left click range as much as possible in this matchup. But you don't want to be here. This is like really far out in the open. It's like really bad positioning. So you'd be better off coming here. I probably even still wouldn't push out into this area at all. This is just really risky and dangerous. At this point, I'd kind of just wait for them to come close to the payload into the corner. Again, ideally positioning would have been here or here, but you don't have that luxury anymore. Okay, you need to back off from this. Okay, they beat it too, so you definitely need to back off from this. I'm okay with turning around with this. Bubble your Sojourn if you want. Okay, I'm okay with all this. Yeah. So you were definitely out of position to start with, but you recognize that. You back off here. So do you see how awkward this beat is? Do you see how little value they get out of this by being aggressive? So I want you to notice this because you grabbed when they did not have beat. And you won a team fight off of it. Now they have beat and you just used grab. So Lucio's like, shoot, what do I do with beat? So I'm just going to use it and hope to get some value out of it. Aggressive beats, look at how quickly this decays. Beat's gone. Done. What value did they get out of the beat? I guess your Alari ulted right into the beat, which is not good, but I mean, aggressive beats are so hard to utilize and they're not good. And even like top 500 players, sometimes it's just like aggressive beats are just really hard. So if you can ever put them in a position like this, that's perfect. So this beat was this bad because you used grab last fight. This is good. Dude, your tracking is just insane for your rank. This is really good. Nice. Okay. I like this positioning a little bit better. Again, still something here. Stuff them here. A little bit more aggressive here. Specifically on this choke. Alright, they have a Pharah now. The only thing you have to think about with Pharah is she rocketing anything where I can get free charge? Other than that, you don't think about Pharah at all. It's not your problem. That's a good bubble. He's dead anyways, but a lot of good charge out of that. So you recognize your teammate was out of position. This is good. Yep, this is all very good. And this is okay because you still have another bubble. If you did not have another bubble, then pushing up like this is kind of suicide. But you have another bubble to get back, so we're all good. Now, I definitely would be looking to grab here. Oh, you actually just pop it. Okay, so I'm not a fan of this grab at all. And I have a couple reasons for that. Number one, this is a 5v4. So ulting needs to be done very calculated. So you should lose this fight. The only way you don't lose this fight is with ultimates. Unless somebody pops off. We're just, you know, throwing that out there. But unless somebody pops off, you lose this fight. And grav is probably one of the ways you could win this fight, but it has to be a good grav under good circumstances. You can't just throw it out there and try to win the fight. My other reasoning for that is that your main person that you're going to combo this with, at least right now, is Torbjorn because of his ultimate. And Torb just got picked. So the grav has a lot less value here. And you grabbed an Orisa. So she's just going to fortify, or she's going to E and then fortify. And then you really shouldn't get any value out of this grab. Yep, exactly. E and then fortify, and then your grav has done nothing. So rather than grabbing there, here, I'd like to see you just back up. If you feel like you need to pop a bubble, but give them space. Try to give as much time for your Torb to get back as possible while still kind of contesting them. Just don't die. And if this Orisa walks too far out and already uses E and fortify and you can grab her and kill her, cool. If not, just save it, wait. Because you can let the cart push. The cart could push up all the way to here. And then you grab Torbalt here, and then they're all dead. But the absolute worst thing you could do with this grab is probably what you just did with it. At the very minimum, you want to at least wait for Orisa to use her cooldowns before you do that. I also think you just missed the bubble. I think that was supposed to go on the Sojourn. But regardless, I'm not really a big fan of that bubble. Mainly because everybody just got graved. So their positioning is all right here. There's not really anybody that can punish the Sojourn super well. And she just backed up into both your supports, so she should get healed. You're in a really bad position, so I would like to have this bubble for you. Although I guess you're 2 bubbles. I missed that part. So, okay. I'm fine expending 1 bubble on the Sojourn like that. That's okay. Okay, you should die. You're not dead. I can't believe what I'm watching, actually. What just happened in that fight? You were losing that fight. This was like really bad. Okay, so pushing up aggressively like this. Okay, I guess this is fine. I was gonna harp on this, but you're very high charge. You still have a bubble. You're down 1. Desperate play is kind of the best you got right now. So I'm okay with being in that positioning.
60 seconds.
You absolutely should die here. You're 100 HP, no bubbles. But okay, if they want to gift you a free fight, that's cool with me. You have very good target priority too.
Ready for action. 30 seconds remaining.
Okay, so I like this positioning a little bit more against an Orisa because the poke against Orisa isn't as strong as it is against D.Va. The Zarya into D.Va matchup, you can kind of just, you can walk all over the D.Va, do whatever you want here. Now, since they have a Pharah and your team would have to walk up into this open space, not so great. So I like where you're positioned now based on the comp that they have now. And Just so we're clear, the reasoning for that is because of the Orisa and the Pharah swaps. Okay.
Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности.
Wait, did I miss where the soldier popped? Oh, hold on. So, this, whatever. I don't like that bubble because she's not getting focused. Nobody's shooting at her. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. I'd rather you save that for you. Okay. And you almost have grab here, so absolutely I'd be trying to farm grab as quick as possible. Good, and then use it the second you get it. I would have done it closer, but this just because you're not really gonna be able to get a whole lot of value out of this. Got some. Okay, but yeah, so for that grab, so you get grab,
По готовности.
you throw this right here, the soldier dies instantly, and I guarantee you one of these supports is gonna like walk up. Maybe the Orisa is gonna walk up, try to help the soldier. So they're going to try to help this dude if you grab just him, and then you can kill whoever else walks up. But now the grab is really far out of your reach, so it takes you a little bit to get there, and then you're not able to actually kill them while they're in the grab. I mean, you get the soldier, but I think if you grab a little bit closer to you, it pulls them a little bit closer, and that way you can start doing the damage earlier. Maybe that turns the fight.
Energy protocols calibrated. Crush their progress. Justice reigns from above.
Efficient design at work.
But yeah, the general tidbit you can take away from that is not to just launch the grab deep into their backline, and then you have to run and chase it. Which maybe you missed. If you did, you know, just disregard. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, so here, you understand that you're supposed to be aggressive with bubbles. This is the first that I've really seen this. So you pop bubble and then walk forward, which is this is the right idea. You just want to reverse it. So you want to walk forward, and then when you have to pop bubble, then you pop it. But imagine like right now you had bubble. Then you can still be a little aggressive. You know, you can play it by ear. Do you pop it? You don't have to, but you could. Gives you more options. Oh, okay. It was a little scary. I mean, yeah, no, this is fine. This is good. Okay, so now you definitely want to be farming grab. Keep spamming your right clicks. Keep spamming right clicks. Get that grab. Nope, 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 nope. Don't worry. Don't worry. Get your grab. Okay, perfect. So, you know they have beat. They haven't used it in a long time. So same thing. Pressure Lucio. Do something. Grab on a flank. Something like that. Just don't let them beat the grab. I probably would prefer... So, I know why you grabbed. I mean, you grabbed to save your team. But is that really worth it? I'd almost rather you just like int and try to get some kills than pop grab like that. Because the thing is, your grav combo is how you're gonna win these fights. Like a guaranteed fight winner. And we're coming up where, you know, it could potentially be the last fight. If instead of grabbing there, you guys just fight or back off, wait out the coalescence, and then re-engage. There's just more options there. Grabbing defensively like that always feels terrible. And pretty much the only time you want to do that is whenever they have a team wipe ultimate, like a Nano Blade. Something like that, absolutely grab it. It saves your entire team. Here, it's like, maybe it saves your entire team, maybe it doesn't. Was it necessary? I don't know. And whenever it's on the gray area, like on the fence like that, you probably just shouldn't have used it. You want to make sure you get value out of that. As a very, very powerful ultimate. Okay. Definitely switch targets a little bit too much. So you kind of went off from the Lucio to the Moira to the Soldier. And, you know, sometimes it's unavoidable. So I'm not trying to nitpick this. I'm just trying to say that whenever you can stick to one person, just deal damage to the one person. That way you're actually threatening to kill instead of just doing a bunch of spread damage. Yeah, and I mean, so you used Grav and you guys ended up losing that anyways, which is really unfortunate.
I am back. Time crush their progress.
So now that's like a ultra feels bad about the Grav.
Protecting you.
Okay, not a great bubble. So this Sojourn wasn't going to die, and this Pharah cannot stay there pressuring. If this Pharah was like right here, and your Sojourn is like gonna get blasted by a couple rockets, sure, that'd be a good bubble. But the Pharah is positioning very passively. She's not very interested in this engagement. She's just spamming a little bit. So it's probably going to be better if you're able to use that bubble as like a tool for aggression and making sure that you're actually getting a little bit more spam off of this. Because from the looks of it, it looks like you're going to get one Pharah rocket out of this bubble. And she missed. Go figure. So. But yeah, so the absolute main thing is this Pharah was not committing to this attack. It was just a rocket or two, and the Sojourn was not in threat of dying. So this bubble could have been used for yourself. I don't like this positioning, so better to be up here. 1, you're closer. 2, you have the high ground. 3, you have this corner. Overall, this is just way better than this. Okay. You should die. Wow. I don't know how you live in some of these situations. This is insane. You should be insta-dead. But okay, yeah. So if you're positioned here instead, then you never get pinned. Like, your instincts were to back up this way, walk up these stairs, and back around to here to cover. When instead, you could have accessed the same, if not more people from this angle, and then backed up this way. And it's much safer. You take way less damage. All right, and that's the end. So, key takeaways for this would be absolutely number 1 is your ally bubble usage. The I saw 2 good allied bubbles, and let me see if I can find the one. The one on the Sojourn was perfect. If you can get every bubble exactly like that, then that's what you want.
Tactical interdiction.
This bubble right here. Okay. If every bubble could be exactly like this, then you're chilling. Every projectile, like ally bubble. Sojourn's getting focused. She's potentially going to die. She's out of position. People are on top of her. You use the bubble, insta value.
Protecting you.
You wasted some of their shots. You gained charge. You got the effective HP out of the bubble. That was perfect. But it was pretty much the only bubble that I saw that was like that. A couple bubbles you used when people were dying to help try to save them. That's a little bit easier to understand. This sort of bubble is, if you can try to just look at this bubble and try to really understand what exactly is good and going on here, and try to digest that and incorporate that into your other allied bubbles, that's going to take you a long ways. The second thing, and probably the only other thing I would say to focus on right now, is your positioning. So you're out in the open, even here. Out in the open a little bit too much. So just find a corner, you know, utilize this. Right click spam across, move up to another corner, move up to another corner, move up to another corner. Corners are your best friend, and they allow you to manipulate the engagement so that you determine who you shoot when.